So in one of my train racing videos, I was requested to do some redesigns on the locomotives. Here's what I came up with. I was going to do this video a few days/weeks earlier, but I was rather busy. So here's the first locomotive of the game, and here's my redesign. It uses the basis of the Northern Pacific number 1356, combined with the interesting choice of colors from the original version of the locomotive from the game. None of the locomotives in the game have tenders, so having this redesign have a tender was probably the most interesting part of, well, redesigning it. And I thought it would have looked the most normal if I simply put it in that shade of blue. Here's the second locomotive of the game, and here's my redesign. I never really quite saw the second locomotive of the game as a steam locomotive, which is sort of why I chose the Alco S3 switcher to base my redesign of this on. Here's the third locomotive of the game, and here's my redesign of it. I think we can all tell what I'm basing this on. When reviewing the game, I did compare the original version of the locomotive from the game to Thomas the Tank Engine when selecting the blue variant. As far as I know, there isn't an actual steam locomotive with a walkway and bars like what you would see on a modern locomotive, so the only thing I could really do was just put a walkway on the E2, which would be inaccurate compared to the real LBSCR E2. Here's the fourth locomotive of the game, and here's my redesign of it. I largely based this off of the Liverpool and Manchester line because of the tall funnel association. I don't really have anything else to say about this. Here's the fifth locomotive of the game. Before I show you my reimagined version, I just want to point out that the original version in the game is very explicitly inspired by this streamlined locomotive from Steam Speed. But of course, the locomotives in Steam Speed are also fictional, so I will show my redesigned version. Here it is. It doesn't look like much other than an linear A4, but I changed the color of the wheels and of the roof. And let's be fair, the A4s are the fastest officially documented steam locomotives, and I have no idea how fast the steam speed locomotives are supposed to be. And here's the sixth locomotive of the game, and here's my redesign. Seeing as how the original version of the locomotive in the game is depicted to having smoke come out, it would have felt odd for me to base my redesign off of an actual electric locomotive like the Acela Shinkansen or the German ice bullet trains. So it naturally made sense for me to base this off of the GE P40 instead. Thank you for watching/listening to me talk about my redesigns for them.